Thoughts on Books fans? This is Scorp1701, and tonight I am very excited, super excited, almost on the verge of tears excited to bring to you this awesome Walmart exclusive reissue of the 1986 The Real Ghostbusters Ecto-1. And I remember when I was 8 years old, I would come home from school and plop myself down in front of the TV and turn on The Real Ghostbusters, and I'd watch Peter, Ray, Egon, and Winston zap some ghosts and get into all sorts of fun adventures. And one day I saw that they were going to have toys, and I was beside myself. I knew I had to have the Ghostbusters. At the time, I wasn't too interested in the Ecto-1 or the Firehouse or a lot of the ghosts that they were going to have, but the Ghostbusters I had to have. And I didn't really want a lot of toys when I was younger, but when I saw that they were advertising, I knew I'd have to use my old harass the parent kid charm kind of stuff to get them, and I did. I eventually wound up getting them all, but I never got the Ecto-1 until later when I was an adult and I had my own money and eBay was a thing. But the Ecto-1 that I got from eBay was kind of old and broken and the stickers weren't on right, but you know, I still loved it and I still used it and I played with it and put it in my collection. But now, thanks to Walmart and Hasbro, I have a very good replica of the 1986 Ecto-1, and this thing is beautiful. But I've been talking about it long enough. Let's dive into it. So, taking a look at the box, you can see it is the classic design from 1986. You have the Real Ghostbuster symbol here, Ecto-1, Winston, Egon, Peter, and Ray's probably sitting back there in the back somewhere. You have the little ghost claw, the swivel seat, you have Kenner, Hasbro. On the top of the box, you have the same picture. On the bottom of the box, you have the same picture, but with some credits for the box and a barcode. On the side of the box, you have a picture of just the Ecto-1, the Ghostbuster symbol, Ecto-1, and then the claw and the swivel seat notification, and Kenner. And you have the same on this side. And finally, that brings us to the back of the box where you have all your information here. And actually, it is pretty neat to take a look. You have a actual GM sticker. So this is an authentic GM product. If we can zoom in there, yeah, there we go, GM product. Wow, that is so cool. And then you have the Ecto-1 there, and it's open and all that other stuff, and that is pretty much the box. But you know what? No one wants to see this awesome vehicle in the box. I know I don't. So let's get it out and see what the Ecto-1 can do. And here we have Ecto-1 out of the box. And out of the box, it comes with a nice set of instructions. So there is some assembly required for the gunner seat and some sticker application. We'll get to that in just a moment. It comes with a sticker sheet, which is cool. It comes with a little ghost, which we'll talk about later. And here is your gunner seat, which actually sits on top instead of on the inside, like the new Ecto-1 that we reviewed a few months ago. And here we have Ecto-1 itself. And it is really nice. But before I show it off, I think I'm going to cut and we're going to get it stickered up. And once I do that, we will have a actual review. So give me just a moment and we will be right back. And here we have the Ecto-1 all stickered up, and this is beautiful. I love this car. I'm so happy to have a newly reissued one that actually has both doors and I can play with it. All right, so taking a look at it, it's basically all white. You got some nice plastic tires with some silver for hubcaps. That is really neat. From the top of the bumper here to the back of the red fin here, you're measuring at about 13.5 inches long. Coming from the bottom of the tire to the top of right here, this is the highest point in the roof detail. That measures to about 6 inches. And if you throw on your gunner seat here, you'll add an additional 2 inches from the top of the gun. I mean, unless you do it like that, that's crazy. But normally right about here, you're looking at from the bottom of the tire to the top of the gun 8 inches. So that is pretty neat. And looking at the door, you have your Ghostbusters sticker here. Now what's interesting about this sticker is if we zoom in, and this was like that on the original too, is it doesn't actually fill up the entire mold of the door. And I believe that's because the Ghostbusters symbol kind of isn't a circle, because the ghost is actually popping out of the circle, so they had to kind of accommodate for that. So even if you got a circle that would go up, then the ghost would be kind of popping out, and that would be kind of silly. Either way, it's okay. I like it. It's a Ghostbusters sticker and no ghost symbol, so you know what that is. And you got your nice red for the fins here. Blue translucent plastic here for the windshields. Coming to the front, you have molded detail for your bumper. You have a nice license plate, Ecto-1. A couple molded details here for the detail on the hood. And from here to here, you're looking at about 5.5 inches wide. And then that is cool. Nothing here on the side that's any different. And on the back, you have a little bit of sticker detail for the back windshield. Another Ghostbuster sticker here. And Ecto-1 license plate here. Then coming down, these two muffler pieces is actually the switch that will recall the ghost claw. So that is pretty neat, and it can go left and right to either stay stationary or do the retraction. So that is cool. We'll show that off in just a minute. On the bottom, you just have a little bit of molded detail, so nothing too great under here. So anyway, that is what your Ecto-1 looks like. Moving on. And for functionality, basically the doors will open here. You see the front door will open there. Open there, so you got 2 doors opening. That is great. No, the hood doesn't open, and neither does the side doors, but then you also have the back door that will open here. So there you go. That's all your access points. It opens up. That is cool. Get the guys in there if you want. I'll put that back up. And now let's talk a little bit about gimmicks. First off, you will have the hook in the back. You can bring this little hook out, and you have to make sure that your bumper here is in the left position, because if not, it will be stuck on the right position and it won't move. But anyway, that will bring out the claw, and the claw is really neat. It's like, the claw. So this will grab onto ghosts. And let's see, where is my little ghost? Here he is. This little orange creepy ghost, the little bug eye thing. He's just made out of plastic, and we'll zoom in real close so you get a good look at him. Very nice, very creepy. Got a big mouth and teeth. A little bit of tail, and so yeah, basically he is a ghost. All right, moving back. Alright, so basically what the Ghostbusters will do, I don't know exactly how this was supposed to work, because, you know, usually they, you know, use proton streams. But anyway, you will grab this ghost right here, and hopefully he will stay in there. I don't know if he will. And when you get the ghost secured, you can use your switch down here to move to the right, and that will activate the retraction, so that when you actually move the tires, I'm gonna have to do this up here, but when you move the tires, it will pull the ghost in. Well, if he actually stays against the claws. This is why they use traps, and they don't try to get them from the car. Laziness. Okay. There you go. I don't know if that's going to work either. He still feels kind of loose. But anyway, you can hear that. But that's the general idea, is that you'll be able to drive, and it will retract, and the ghost will now be in the back seat with them. So I don't know if they thought that through or not. But anyway, that is your ghost claw gimmick and your ghost. So, all right. And when it comes to your gunner seat, basically you'll put a Ghostbuster in here, right? And he will just sit up here on top of the car, which I don't know if that's safe, but hey, you know, chasing ghosts probably isn't the safest idea either way. And he sits there, and, you know, there's no real interaction that he could do with this. Can't even grab the little buttons here, but he could just sit there and you can pretend he's shooting these proton charges here at the top. So yeah, that is cool. And that's one seating spot if you want to use the gunner seat, which will allow you to free up some space so you can have just one Ghostbusters in the front seat and one Ghostbuster in the second seat and the other one in the back. So there you go with the gunner seat. I don't think I'm ever going to use that, but you know, just to be thorough with the review, there is what it looks like on the vehicle. All right, moving on. And for comparison, here you have the original, the real Ghostbusters Ecto-1 as opposed to the reissued here. Now, there are a few differences in the mold, but they're very, very minor, to the point where unless you're really, really trying to find them, you're not going to basically notice any differences in the size or the shapes of these cars. They are virtually identical, and that's the way I like it. So you can see that here from the front. And we're going to turn it on this side because the other side of the original Ecto-1 that I have is missing a door, and that's kind of embarrassing. So you kind of put them on top of each other again. Same side, everything. Actually, these stickers are put on because, I don't know, probably a kid did it, which is fine. They enjoyed it. And then on the back here, the original Ecto-1 I had didn't have a back glass sticker, but that's okay. And then the license plate's falling off, but I loved it. And then we'll kind of come around to the other side and see, there's my missing door. But anyway, that is a comparison of what they look like. Again, minor details that are different. And I'll give you an example since we're looking at the front of the car. Like, as you can see, these squares on the reissued Ecto-1 are going to be different than your squares on the original. So I don't know if you can see the difference there or if it really even matters, but that's just one of the minor differences. Now, if you're interested, unfortunately, due to the way that the jump seat has been designed, it can not fit on the original Ecto-1 because the tab is too big for the port. Now, if you shave it off a little bit, you can get it in there, but why would you do that? So that's going to be only on here, and I probably will never use it. So I don't know. That is just an interesting thing if you're curious about the gunner seat. Moving on. And if you want a comparison between the Ghostbusters Afterlife Ecto-1 and the real Ghostbusters Ecto-1 reissue, here you go. Now, you're going to notice that the Ghostbusters Afterlife Ecto-1 is a lot smaller, and that's because you have a cartoon car and then you have a movie car that's kind of cartoon inspired. So there's going to be a little differences there. So you have a lot more detail when it comes to the roof up here, and you got the ladder detail and the hoses, and you have the lights on this side as opposed to just the plastic lights here. And you could add on the Ecto cannon here to kind of give it a little more height, but still you put the gunner seat on here and you're still gonna, you know, be completely different. So there you go, if you kind of want that kind of comparison. It's supposed to be the same car, but it's not the same car, and you know, they do different things, and you know, I don't think it's really fair to compare the two, which is better or which is not. But anyway, here you have the Ghostbusters Afterlife Ecto-1. Moving on. And here you have a nice shot of the real Ghostbusters outside of the Ecto-1. And these are the originals from back in the 80s, not the reissues. I do have those. There's not really any difference, so these are the ones I had handy, so I was going to use these. So you can put them in various positions in the car. Like I said, you could have one right in on the top if you were so inclined, but I'm not going to do that. I like to throw all my Ghostbusters into the car themselves. So let's see. Technically, Winston was always the driver, if I remember right, so we'll stick him in the driver's seat. Get in there, Winston. This is kind of the first time I'm attempting this, so they may be a little sticky at first. All right, so Winston seems to be in there. All right, And then we could put, I don't know, we'll put Ray in the passenger side because they like to talk. I remember an actual movie they did, so I'm sure it was the same in the TV show. So, go it in there. Okay, so it's not the greatest fit. Oh, there we go. You get them in there. All right, that looks nice. And then Peter and Egon, they can ride in the back. Bring this down. This is how I always did it as a kid. You know, they weren't really safety seats in the back, but you know, who cares? We were kids. We just wanted to put our figures in there, and so we'll throw that in there and close up the door. And oh, okay, there they are. So you can actually fit all 4 of them in there, and that's great. So you can drive around. Oh, it's not going. Oh, I know, because this is not done. All right, there you go. Brum, brum, brum. So that is really cool. So they're safe in, well, they're not, because on this particular, it might just be my copy, but the back door does not want to close. I mean, you can get it to close, but it's very easy to come open again. So, all right, so there you go. Ghostbusters in there. They can go on a call. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Ah! Oh dear. And if you're interested, this is what the new line of animated looking Ghostbusters look like in front of the real Ghostbusters Ecto-1. And this isn't really a bad scale either. I like it. I think these guys, however, are going to be a little too big to go in there, but let's try. Alright, let's see. We'll take off some proton packs, throw them off to the side, because you can't ride in the car with your proton pack on. That's just not proper. Ha. Alright, so open up the door here. Winston, we'll let you drive while you break tradition. Get your hands up, and there. Let's see, get him in there. Yeah, it's actually kind of, yeah. I may have to do this off camera because he may get stuck. I'm not sure. Get your head. Yeah, okay, there you go. He's in. He's in. That's all right. All right, move the arms down. So that is cool. All right. One in. Coming to the side. Come here, Ray. Ray. Yeah, get down there. Get in. Ray. Their heads are a little big, and that's, I think, what's getting them stuck in there. All right, go in. All right, he's in, sort of. His feet's in Winston's crotch. Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. All right, so that looks actually pretty nice. You can see them in there. They look kind of comfy and snug. Very good. Winston, sit back a little bit. There you go. And then open up the back, and we'll throw Egon and Peter in there. Let's see. Get in there. Actually, put them sitting sideways. That would be good. That hook's going to get in the way, so we'll just, again, put them... Oh, no, he fell over. Okay, there we go. Here we go. Okay. There. Alright, so now you got all 4 of the Ghostbusters in the real Ghostbusters Ecto-1. So that looks pretty nice. If you want them in there, and they're not really cramped, and they got a lot of room. Don't have their proton packs though, but that's okay. I think that looks pretty cool. Alright, that is your new animated Ghostbusters in the real Ghostbusters Ecto-1. Moving on. And if you want to see both of the Ecto-1s occupied and in their full battle modes, here you go. You have the Afterlife here with your new Ghostbusters and Ray sitting out on the gunner seat here. And then you have our real Ghostbusters here, all occupied with Ray sitting on the gunner seat at the top. So that is really neat. I love both of these cars. I like how they do the same things kind of differently, and that's okay with me. This, however, the real Ghostbusters is always going to be my favorite. Sorry, Afterlife car, but still, that is a neat little comparison there. And unfortunately, no, I don't have the Plasma Series Ecto-1. I didn't really find a reason to get a vehicle for a series where the characters can't fit into the vehicle. It just didn't make a lot of sense to me. Moving on. And this has been the Real Ghostbusters Ecto-1 reissued from Kenner/Hasbro. And I love this little car. Now, it doesn't have all the bells and the whistles of new cars. It's basically the same as it was in the 80s. You have the little ghost claw retractor thing, and you got the little gunner seat that you stick on the top, and that's about it. The novelty of this item is it brings back so many memories if you had it while you were a kid, and it's just great. I am so glad that Hasbro reissued the car and the guys and the ghosts. I love this trend of bringing back the 80s and the toys that we had there. I mean, you go down the toy aisle now, you see He-Man, Transformers reissued, you see reissues of Ninja Turtles, you see reissues of Ghostbusters. I mean, I am like confused at what year I'm living in. But it is a great feeling to finally have a complete Ghostbuster team again, and they're not all torn up from playing with them as a kid. So this car, it rolls, it does its little gimmicks. The back panel on mine is again a little easy to open up. I wish that was a little more secure, but I'm not going to be playing with it a lot, and I think they said one of the ways to solve problems like that is to use some floor polish, but I've never tried it. Maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. Anyway, if you're curious, no, this Slimer and this Stay Puft aren't part of this line. They are part of the Diamond Select Ghostbusters that came out a couple years ago, and I actually wish that they had put out an Ecto-1 for that series, but I was happy with the Ghostbusters. Really, if I had my wish in today's market, I would love for guys like Super 7 and NECA to get a hold of the Ghostbuster license and start putting out a whole slew of The Real Ghostbusters merchandise. I would buy everything. Well, not everything, but I really wanted a Samhain, a Boogeyman, a Sandman, and a couple other more prominent ghosts of the TV show. But anyway, who knows? Who knows what's coming down the road? I might get my wish. Super 7, if you're listening, please. NECA, if you're listening, please. And I don't care. One of you could do animated accuracy, and one of you could do toy accuracy. It doesn't bother me. I just want to see The Real Ghostbusters stuff. So anyway, guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good night, and until next time, keep playing.